What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Hope you all had a great holiday. Happy New Year. Last episode, we talked about the state of RedM and our vision for the server. Today, as you might have noticed already, we're in the server ready to show off some gameplay. How you feeling, Dex? You ready?
What's up, Atrium? It's great to be back. Happy New Year, happy holidays. Last time we were on here, it was just an idea of this server, but it's nice to have a nice physical thing to go off of. Why don't you start off by telling us what's the overarching vision for the server?
So yeah, I can get into that. Let's just head on our way down to where we need to be. But the goal of the server is to create a dynamic world where players feel fully immersed, enabling them to choose their own paths and shape their own stories. Uh, we want to take the best aspects of RedM and vanilla Red Dead Online and create an entirely new experience.
That honestly sounds awesome. Like, to fully realize this dynamic world, we really need to dive into map utilization. Imagine leveraging the landscape to create meaningful player experiences for each individual player. Whether it's farming or hunting or even plotting heists, the map should definitely enhance their stories and interactions. I feel like we've got to, I think, maximize its potential to make every path feel significant, right?
Yeah, 100%. The map is a gorgeous map. Just look at it. It's detailed. You got a rich environment. But as we see in a lot of RedM servers, they focus primarily on locations like Valentine and Saint Denis.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, and definitely like this map is stunning. Speaking of exploration, I see we have a friend with us. Can you explain who will be accompanying us today and what role this NPC has?
So yeah, this is an NPC that's accompanying us, aptly named James Michael. The name was chosen by one of our Discord patrons, and essentially, we're gonna be accompanied by him. He's gonna help us out on our contract mission that we're gonna be doing today, and we'll go into a bit more detail on how they work in a future episode. But for now, he's here to help us out, and yeah, he's a friendly.
Cool. This is honestly awesome that you implemented this yourself, and I definitely like how you gave the name and let somebody from the server pick it. Uh, why don't you tell us a little bit about how exactly these contracts are going to work?
So contracts can be given out by players or NPCs. So, for instance, today we're going to be completing a contract delegated by an NPC. But the goal of contracts is to provide the mission structure for the server, and the goal is to implement it in a realistic manner and to give players the ability to kind of choose how to define their own missions. And this just goes back to enabling the players to play the game how they want to play it.
That's awesome. So I will walk up to like this guy down here and accept the contract and essentially be on our way.
Yep. Taking a little bit of the scenery as well.
Really can't get over there how great this game looks, and I have a really good feeling that once we implement everything, just the natural aesthetics of the game versus a tailored experience for individual players, no telling like what this server is capable of. Definitely exciting stuff.
So to expand a bit more on, I guess, how the NPCs work, NPCs will have unique goals, wants, and desires, making the gameplay experience rich and dynamic. Based off their status in the in-game world, these NPCs might create these contracts to achieve those goals. So, for instance, today we have a fisherman who's been running goods to Armadillo, and he needs help delivering his, his provisions, and but he wants us to pose as fishmongers to avoid suspicion. There's been crime in the area recently. So
I like the idea of having a premise around each motivation behind each NPC.
Yeah, and it's something that can be dynamically generated. You know, that's something that we're working towards, getting these missions created by the AI system itself, so that you or I or any other person doesn't have to define them. Like, okay, go here, go here, go here. It's a surprise to everyone, including myself.
That is awesome. It definitely keeps the gameplay fresh. I feel essentially it feels like in normal single player Red Dead when you just go pick up like a side mission, each one is so unique yet detailed. But I like how you're implementing it into this server.
So one thing we'll notice here as we approach is the NPC streaming system. So right now the streaming distance is set to maybe 30 or even like 15 meters, but this can be expanded greatly upon so that as you approach these locations and these waypoints, the NPC, along with their data, just naturally appears. So you'll see the fisherman as we approach, right? And he has his own like daily tasks and routines. And what players will find is that if you want to seek out a mission, sometimes you have to go seek out that NPC that gives that mission, if that makes sense.
So if we want a contract from this fisherman, we may pull up here and he's already out and about doing his own tasks, essentially.
Exactly. So he can
Very
be
interesting
anywhere.
concept.
Yep. So
Give him a
let's
look.
go ahead and speak to him before he gets too far. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, technical difficulties, but we think we have everything up and running now. So let's go ahead and get this mission set.
I really like the idea of just coming on down to the NPC's area and just seeing him out and about working, like almost like he has a life outside of us being in his presence.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about the server, is that the NPCs should, in theory,
He's
act
pulling up
like
on the guy
players.
just
Yeah.
working on his dock.
So yeah, a bit buggy at this point in time. He is supposed to have a fishing rod, but it's easily fixable. A few bugs here and there. So the way it works is you walk up to the NPC, and just like a player, they have the prompt to accept the contract. Hold E, and then just like that, you get the contract.
Super cool. Feels like pretty much as simple as a normal mission.
Yep.
I love how it's so easily integrated. I mean, obviously there's the little bugs, but that's a really cool concept. All right, let's get aboard.
So, and again, the context of this mission is, it's been dangerous for him to deliver these goods himself because the area has had an uptick in crime as of late.
Definitely like the premise. It seems realistic, especially for like a frontier setting like this. Very authentic, not over the top. I like the idea of us just being hired guns.
Yeah, and one thing I want to kind of emphasize is that there's going to be a multitude of gameplay paths that one can take. The idea of the roles that we saw in vanilla Red Dead Online, we're going to do our own twist on that. So players won't be necessarily confined to those roles, they'll be able to expand on them. So you truly can play the game how you want. It's very open ended.
Love the idea. I think that was one of the best aspects of Red Dead Online was definitely being able to have different roles. not as detailed and maybe as intuitive as many people would hope, because there's so many people that really just want to be a shopkeeper, farmer, stuff like that. But it's really cool how this is just taking that concept and just elevating it. Really just hitting kind of all the focus points that people have when it comes to role playing in this game.
And it looks like we have some company actually.
Uh-huh. Oh, check that out.
So yeah, let's try to defend the wagon here.
Nice little ambush. This is actually a very nice element.
You dumb bastard! We're losing too much ground. Come.
Oh, my bad.
All right.
Yo, that was quite the element of surprise there. Did not see that coming. Wow.
Yeah, and I guess unfortunately we weren't able to save the vehicle. The horse actually died.
Oh
So
man.
we're gonna redo the mission, but in actuality, like in a normal environment, when you fail the mission, you really do fail. There are no do-overs.
Will
So if
that
we had
affect
died, mm,
like overall how do you say, essentially like the experience? So what does like that will kind of affect future contracts from here on out with that same person, or how does
well,
that
yeah, it
work?
can actually. So, and it can even go as far as you getting into legal issues or legal trouble,
Oh,
depending on the
wow.
kind of contract. So it's definitely supposed to be a almost like a realistic and very hardcore approach to missions. You know, you fail, maybe the person holds a grudge or a vendetta against you, or even perhaps maybe you get taken to court over your failure to complete the contract. And again, not all
Dang.
contracts are like involving combat. Maybe some of the contracts may be delivering goods or, you know, collecting items or building something. That's the route that we want to take with the contracts.
Definitely like that. They're very detailed, and I like how interconnected it is. It's not as simple as just failing the mission and then starting over, or it is what it is. It
Yeah,
really does affect everything from here on out. I imagine like we go back to that fisherman at some point. He's like, I don't trust you guys anymore, or I don't want to give you this job since after the last one you pulled.
exactly.
Definitely, definitely a good concept.
And
Great
what players
concept.
will have to find balance in is, you know, valuing their life over, let's say, the mission objective. Because, you know, thank goodness we didn't die. If we had died, we would be set back even further. That's the vibe that we're kind of going for with the server.
Amazing.
So yeah,
And that was just a gist of what what's to come. I was telling you just earlier how surprised I was. I did not see that coming. I can only imagine how more elevated it can get and how surprising it can be and unpredictable, but like in a great way.
so yeah, we're going to redo the mission. We'll get back to the same point, and hopefully, we'll be able to save the wagon. You know, we'll probably drop it off and try to get rid of these guys. We have to take another approach to it, and that's something that I want, the players of the server to really take time to plan these missions out in advance. You don't have to; it's not forced upon you, but it will be in their interest to really take the time to plan and thoroughly think through the missions.
Making sure they're ready with their supplies, their ammunition, the amount of muscle they need for the certain jobs.
Exactly.
Love the idea.
All right,
I
so
want the game to be hard, like
yeah,
in a good way.
nah, definitely. All right, so we'll cut it there, and we'll see you guys back in a bit. All right,
Nice.
let's do it.
Let's get it, man. We'll save the horse this time.
So I think let's be careful about this. I'll park up right here, get off, and then we'll take them head on.
Oh yeah, here they come. Here they come.
Let's find some cover or something.
Is that all of them?
Looks like it.
Awesome.
So yeah, any thoughts?
Honestly, I am blown away by just the progress that you've made so far, especially since the last time we spoke. And like I was saying earlier on, how this was just an idea. Just this little sliver that you're giving to the people at this point is actually very promising. I think.
Yeah, and some of the gameplay mechanics and features might be a bit buggy now, but I really want to emphasize as well that once these systems get fleshed out and really stabilized, these are foundational features that we can build off of. Things get easier once you get that bottom foundation established, and moving
Absolutely.
from there would be a fairly simple process.
I would like to say this for the people listening to this, and that we'll see this in the future, especially passionate uh, Red Dead roleplay users. Give definitely, shameless plug here, but I would say give it a try. Once we get the final product up and running, I feel like this will be something the community has never seen before, and I mean that in the best way possible. I feel like that this is going to be one of the more entertaining, very low points of like lackluster content, and something that's continuously evolving, continuously being added to. This is definitely what the community needs, 100%.
And we'll share a bit more next episode on how players can contribute, get involved. But I would say for now, join the Discord server, subscribe, or wherever you're listening to this. Comment, engage with us, leave your feedback, what you want to see, and I think that's a great way to, I guess, help us out at this point.
Absolutely. It's a very small team working on this, handful of people. So any contributions, any suggestions, the door is wide open. We want that to be a very big key of this type of server and community that we're building. We want people to understand that we are open to almost any suggestions regarding bettering the server, bettering the experience. This is a server by players for players.
Yeah, and with that, we've completed the delivery mission, and it was a pretty fun gameplay demo. Thank you, Dex, for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. That sliver of what we had just now was actually a load of fun.
Yeah, and we'll get back to everyone soon. We'll have podcast 3 hopefully recorded within the next few weeks. And yeah, we're
Absolutely.
gonna take a bit of a deeper dive into the AI subsystem and some of the gameplay mechanics and features. So we'll see you guys there.
All right, guys. Peace out. Do you suggest we take these guys?
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Oh, hold on. I can't get out of this menu. I'm about to die. I couldn't get out the menu. This is amazing. Wow, that was unexpected.
So yeah, I died.
Wow, that was actually, I'm not gonna lie, that was very unexpected. That was actually a pretty cool concept. See, it even took me off guard. This is
Did you
very
die?
raw for me.